I feel like this was actually what I should have been talking about. But before we get into it, the whole wrestling with God, you guys already know. 2 minute warning. Why do I always keep forgetting that? So, wrestling with God. I'm very excited to talk about this morning. I should have made this video a while ago, but yeah, here we are now. Let's see if we got everything set up. All right. Uh-oh. Hold on 1 second. Oh. So, just to let you guys know, I'm not a preacher. All right, I'm not a pastor. I'm not a theologian. I am just a dude who loves God and who loves the Bible. The Bible is so amazing, and the stories, when you actually understand some of the meaning, like the deep meanings behind it, these stories are so beautiful and they're just filled with so much wisdom. So I would definitely encourage you guys to read this stuff, right? You don't have to read the whole Bible, in a day, but just take some time out of your day to, open up one of these books and, just read one of these characters' stories. So today, I want to talk about wrestling with God. And this story comes out of Genesis, the first book in the Bible. And we're talking about Jacob wrestling with God. Now, when you think about this, right, that's kind of insane. Imagine wrestling with the supreme being of the universe. That's insane. That's pretty crazy, right? Now, some people will have the objection of that this is a seemingly stupid story because how can anyone fight God and actually win, right? But when we read it, we see that things become a lot clearer. All right, so this is in Genesis, right? And it starts off with Jacob uh fleeing, or not fleeing, he's headed back home. So we'll start here at verse 22. And it says, that night Jacob got up, took his two wives, two female servants, and his 11 sons, and crossed the ford of the Jabbok. Jacob had two wives, Rachel and Leah, and he had two female servants, and he had a ton of kids. This dude was getting it in. That's pretty crazy. After he sent them across the stream, he sent over all his possessions. So Jacob was left alone, and a man wrestled with him till daybreak. Now, as we keep reading, we'll find out that that man is actually God himself. When the man saw that he could not overpower him, he touched the socket of Jacob's hip so that his hip was wrenched as he wrestled with the man. That is the key part right here. So, Jacob and God, WrestleMania 96, right? We're talking about a huge match, right? The fight that everyone's been waiting for, right? This is bigger than Khabib and McGregor, right? This is bigger than The Rock versus Stone Cold Steve Austin. This is bigger than The Undertaker versus what's his name? Brock Lesnar, right? Jacob tussling, right? You know what I'm saying? Running a fade with God, and he's winning, right? But let's paint a different picture, right? Because you can't actually fight God and win. Come on, man. Like, this is God we're talking about, the all powerful, like powers beyond your comprehension. Jacob think he winning. He think like he's gonna get over on this dude. It's not gonna happen. Imagine you as a 4-year old trying to wrestle your dad. That's the type of match that's going on, right? Whenever you play fight with your dad, right? You might be giving it all. He's giving you like 0.5% of his strength because he knows that if he were to use a third of his strength, he would completely crush you. So they're wrestling, right? Jacob think that he doing something. He really not though. When he saw that he couldn't overpower him, he touched the socket of Jacob's hip. Bing! The man touched Jacob's hip and wrenched his hip out of place. And then, as we keep reading, it says that because of this touch that Jacob had, he walked with a limp for the rest of his life. That's crazy, yo. Anybody that I'm fighting and they touch a part of my body and knock it out of socket or knock it out of joint, hey, I don't want no parts. I don't want nothing to do with this person. Do you know what kind of power that is? Where someone just comes up to you and just mink and just rip that out of socket. Just imagine if he would have touched his arm. He would have dislocated his arm. If he touched his neck would have been like broke, done. All he did was touch him, and he's crippled for the rest of his life. Then the man said, "Look." Then the man said, "Let me go, for it is daybreak." But Jacob replied, "I will not let you go unless you bless me." Beautiful, beautiful. Let me get out the way. The man asked him, "What is your name?" "Jacob," he answered. Then the man said, "Your name will no longer be Jacob, but Israel." Key point right here. Because you have struggled with God and with humans and have overcome. So here we see that the man that he's wrestling with is indeed God. And as a result, because he has struggled and overcome, God blesses him and changes his name from Jacob to Israel. Now, when we see majority of the time in the Bible, when someone gets a new name, it's either a promotion or a demotion. So this is a very good thing. As we can see, his name got changed from Jacob to Israel. The same with Abraham. His name was Abram. It got changed to Abraham after God blessed him. He got promoted. Same with Paul, right? His name was Saul, got changed to Paul. Same with many other figures in the Bible. Jacob said, "Please tell me your name." But he replied, "Why do you ask my name?" Then he blessed him there. So Jacob called the place Peniel, saying, "It was because I saw God face to face, and yet my life was spared." So a couple key things going on here. Jacob wrestling with God. God seemingly just playing with him for most of the wrestling match. Touch his hip, knock it out of socket to let him know, like, "Hey, yo, I'm really him." And it's so beautiful because if you read the story of Jacob, you see that Jacob was a finesser. He was a liar. He was a scammer his whole life, and that's how he got through life, finessing. And currently, he's running away from his problems. But as soon as he encounters God, God forces him to be a man, to grow up, and to face his problems head on because that's what real men do. And if you want to be blessed by God, the blessing comes once you endure and overcome the obstacles. And that was the whole lesson that God was trying to teach Jacob is that whatever you put out, you're going to get back. And the fact that you're seeing all of this chaos in your life is a direct result of your actions. You've been finessing your whole life, but now you need to change. You need to be a man, you need to be mature and face your problems. Bit of the backstory is Jacob stole his birthright from his older brother. His older brother found out and wanted to kill him, so he had to flee, running from his problems. He goes off to live with his uncle, wants to marry um, his daughter, Rachel, and his uncle finesses him. So, again, you can see because Jacob had been finessing other people, a bigger finesser came and finessed him out of his money, his women, his livelihood, and now he's face to face with God, and he's got to deal with his problems head on. And because he struggles and overcomes, God, um, what's the word I'm looking for? Properly blesses him because in the beginning he stole that blessing that was supposed to be for his brother, but how he did it. Inclusion. Attention, if you do not close your stream, your channel will be deleted. Yeah, no. That is like the most obvious fake channel ever. But anyways, you know, I was gonna keep this stream short because this really isn't like a long or in-depth explanation, but just because of that comment, we gonna keep the stream up, okay? Nobody's scaring me off. This dude's name is YouTube. Bro, get out of here. You're not fooling nobody with that. But yeah. In my opinion, that's one of the most beautiful stories that we have out of the Bible, where you actually see the heart of a man change and you see him overcome his struggles, and you see the transformation of him becoming a better man. Honestly, quite beautiful. Yo, so this picture right here. All right, so that's all we have for that topic. Now until the end of the stream, I'm just gonna be showing a bunch of clips. If you guys want to, hang around and just check some of this out. This right here is one of my favorite pictures from my job. It's just a bunch of nuns smoking cigarettes. I just find that absolutely hilarious. Hilarious. What else we got? Hmm. Nah, I'm not gonna show any of those pictures because they're quite explicit. I actually changed my mind about doing um that stream. But you know what? We'll touch on that a little bit. So we'll switch gears here, you guys. Actually, this one's okay. So, if you guys were tuned in a couple of days ago, we did a stream with Urge, and initially the topic was going to be on women and dating because the homie has been having quite a few experiences with some problematic women, specifically relating to lying. But the thing is that, and I had to reinforce this understanding to him, is that when it comes to majority of women, um, 9 times out of 10, majority of women that you meet will not be righteous, wholesome women. That's due largely to society and the way that they got raised. We don't have a lot of good fathers in the home, and thereby, um, there's going to be a lot of there's going to be a lot of figuring stuff out for yourself or left to your own devices. When you don't have proper guidance, you're going to look in other places to find that guidance. And usually that's going to come from society. But everything we've been seeing from society has been just a complete pile of stinking poo because, well, there's a lot of demonic forces at play that like to, that not like to, that want to completely destroy humanity. So, again, largely the women that you will encounter in life will not be good women. Not being saying that being said, that you can also say that for majority of the men too. Okay, I don't want to just rag on women, but specifically since we're talking about women, we're gonna go in this direction. Um, it's within a woman's nature to have her image um be as good as possible. So even if a woman is engaged in a lot of questionable behavior, um, whorish activities, she's going to paint the perception that she is a good girl and innocent. Ah, okay. And so what I was trying to tell the homie is that, and this wasn't me giving him advice per se, because we had been having these talks very frequently. This was just me restating what he had told me. So, backstory, he lives in Atlanta. We all know how Atlanta is. It's pretty much like the Black Hollywood. Um, Majority of people there have no morals and no souls. So, um, you can imagine how it is dating there. But what he had told me, right, from his experience, is that he has to expect that every woman he's talking to is sleeping with 2 to 3 men, which that's not a crazy thought to have, because it's a true reflection of his reality. So with that being said, whatever the women in this area that he's dealing with tell him, you can't really take that at face value. You have to um you have to think that these people, not these people, these women are intentionally lying to you because they don't want to seem less than. No woman wants to seem less than, and that's why when this whole topic of body count comes up, majority of women will not tell you their body count because they don't want to be perceived as a whore or a prostitute, even though that's what they are. On the flip side, women will generally respect men who are completely honest with them, but they themselves will not be honest. No, it's a weird concept, but a lot of women fall into this category. So you can be honest to a woman about who you're dealing with, your past and everything, and they will generally respect that. But as far as them reciprocating that and telling you the full and unadulterated truth, you will most likely never get that unless you're dealing with a very wholesome woman, a virgin. And in that case, I mean, she would have no problem telling you that she is a virgin and has not slept with anyone, because that is a very honorable thing to do. And if you go and you interview a lot of these women and ask them if they could have a lower body count or no body count, they would say yes, because they know intuitively that having a large body count is not something that is desirable by majority of men. Wow, when did we get into dating topics? And sounding like a red pill advocate over here. Ugh. A cool thing I learned about the whole red pill community, because for a long time I had been under the impression that red pill was like an ideology, but from the, I would say, like the founders or the main people who, like, push this whole red pill ideology, they never say that um red pill is like a way of life or like an actual ideology. It's a practicality, praxeology. Yeah, there we go. Praxeology. I don't know how I remember that word, but yeah, it was described to me as being a praxeology. Praxeology? Something like that. Okay, I may have jumbled up the words, but it's not so much of you do this, and this, like, with an ideology or with a religion. It's not giving you a way to live your life. It's just explaining and describing something, just giving you um fa- I shouldn't say facts per se, but it's describing things, right? It's not giving you, it's descriptive, it's not prescriptive, right? So it's not telling you to do anything. It's just describing how the way things are, or why things are how they are, I should say, to be more concise. But very, very interesting conversations going on in the red pill community. Although I don't agree with a lot of these people who are a part of that community, but still very interesting conversations to be had. What else? What else do we have on the docket? Mm, 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 mm. Didn't have anything really planned for today. That's why we're just kind of, jumping from topic to topic. But, I'm having a good time, you guys. So I guess we can switch gears and we can talk about my favorite topic. Okay, not my favorite topic, but we can talk about religion, and specifically Islam. Yes, everyone's favorite trendy religion nowadays. I don't know, for some reason. Why? I don't get why anyone would willingly convert to Islam. Like, that just makes zero sense, especially black people, right? I I don't understand why any black person would convert to Islam. There's a whole, like, movement of black people that's like against Christianity, because they call Christianity the white man's religion, which is just stupid, considering how majority of Christians in the world are like black or either Asian. So why would you say Christianity is a white man's religion when majority of Christians are Asian? So stupid. Uh, Here we go. Oh yeah. All right, but yeah. With that being said, um, if, like, for black people, if that's like your main point of contention, that, oh, I'm gonna follow Islam because Christianity is a white man's religion, and what they did with all the slaves and everything. Oh, that's such a weak objection, right? Because if you dig into Islam, You see, Islam is a pretty racist religion. Like everything surrounding Islam is Arab. Like the Arabs are the superior race to every other race. I mean, just look at what you have to do. Like the people who are like hardcore in Islam, right? You want to follow everything what Muhammad did, right? So you have to dress a certain type of way. You have to have a beard like this way. You have to look this way. All the customs are Arabic, which Muhammad was an Arab. But in addition to that, I mean, you can see, um, they have dhimmis in Islam, which are pretty much second class citizens, but also the way that they treat black people and like non-Arabs is quite demeaning in these Arab countries. And when you go into the history, right, you see here we got some hadiths behind us, Sahih Bukhari. You see that the leader, the founder of Islam, uh, he was a white dude who owned black people, right? So we have Bukhari, Sahih Bukhari 7263. You guys can look it up, or I mean, if you have a Bukhari collection, read it for yourself. Said, I came and behold, Allah's messenger was staying on a mashroba attic room, and a black slave of Allah's messenger was at the top of its stairs. I said to him, tell the prophet that here is Umar bin al-Khattab asking for permission to enter. Then he admitted me. So Muhammad has black slaves, right? And this is the leader of Islam. This is the greatest example of humanity, a dude that bought, traded, and owned slaves. And on top of that, like being a black person and you caring so much about slavery, why are you following a white dude who potentially owned some of your ancestors? But the thing is that it'd be so interesting is to actually sit down with a black Muslim and go through these to see what they actually have to say. Because I have not done that yet. I've only talked to other like non-black Muslims about this. Here's another hadith, Sunan an-Nasai 4621. A slave came and gave his pledge to the Messenger of Allah to immigrate, and the Prophet did not realize that he was a slave. Then his master came looking for him. The Prophet said, sell him to me. So he bought him for two black slaves. Then he did not accept until he had asked, is he a slave? So here you can clearly see that um, he's he's trading slaves. And how messed up this is that he traded two black slaves for one Arab slave. Damn. How dirty is that, man? Like two blackies equal an Arab slave? Yo, that's pretty dirty, man. Moving on. Oh, and if you guys don't believe that Muhammad was white, here we go. Here's a description of what Muhammad looked like. Abu Juhayfa reported in Sahih Muslim 2343a that he saw Allah's messenger, that he had a white complexion and some white hair, and Hassan bin Ibn Ali resembled him. So, Muhammad, the leader of Islam, was a white dude with some white hair. There's other hadiths that talk about how white his arms were, how white his legs were, how white underneath his arms were. But yeah, he was a white dude who owned black people. I don't think that that's very nice. And also, I think that that automatically takes you out of the running for being the greatest human being to ever live, right? If you own slaves, if you marry children, if you kill people because they have a different opinion than you, I think that that automatically takes you out of the running of being the example for humanity. Just my opinion though, but I think that that's a strong opinion. We can probably up that to make it a fact because it's such a high opinion. And this right here is a Bombardier 750, I believe. Beautiful, beautiful jet that we have right there. What else do we have on the docket? Let's go to recents. Hmm. Let's see if there's anything I can pop in here for you guys. Oh, so a couple days ago we did the whole Snow White review, and there was a one point that I actually missed on that video that I wish I could have included, and it was this right here. It was never accept food from a person's hands who look like this. Like Snow White has to be like the biggest idiot in the entire universe. Why would you eat a piece of loose food from a complete stranger you just met like 3 minutes ago? And in fact, like, look at her hands. I'm not eating anything that's coming from someone whose hands and fingernails look like this. You see how dirty her fingernails are? And you see how untrustworthy her face looks? Like, bro, I'm not eating nothing from this person. Snow White was a complete idiot. And also, I think that this scene right here definitely had to have like some sort of biblical symbolism because you have the most evil person you've seen in your life offering you this fruit of salvation, and you're just gonna take it blindly and eat it. Like Snow White, like did you not have parents to teach you like common sense? But again, I thought that that was like a parallel between Snow White and the evil witch and the serpent in the Garden of Eden with Eve. I really wish I would have gotten that point in the Snow White movie presentation because I missed it. But very, very key point to point out that this symbolism that they were trying to draw between these two stories, I thought that that was pretty cool. But yeah, just the whole idea of evil coming and presenting it to you this thing of freedom or salvation, and just to blindly accept that, like, Snow White, come on, we got to do better. Like, I know you didn't have your dad around, but no, not her dad. What? Okay, maybe you can't really put the whole blame on Snow White because her mom did die young. Her mom got super sick, and then I think the queen killed her dad. There was kind of it was very vague about what exactly happened to Snow White's dad. I didn't really catch that in the movie. Maybe someone can jolt my memory, but did the queen actually in fact kill Snow White's dad? I'm not sure. Let's see what else we got on the docket, you guys. Oh, new. What is that? All right, Tiana Trump says that if you're 23, you shouldn't have less than 5 bodies. See, this is exactly what I was talking about in the previous stream. Is let's say the elite, right, or these powerful people putting these garbage people in positions of influence, right? To just spew trash to our youth. She says that if you're 23, you shouldn't have less than 5 bodies. How many bodies does Tiana Trump have, right? She's probably like close to 1,000, maybe 2,000 now. You guys don't know who Tiana Trump is? She's a porn star, right? She just guzzles glizzies for a living, and this is so sick and evil because you can clearly see that these people are just trying to corrupt as many people and especially like young minds as possible. You should not be 23 with five or more bodies, right? Unless you're married, you should have no bodies, right? You should be a innocent virgin until you get married. That is the best way. That's the right way and the best way to do things. Have sex with your wife or your husband, and life will go a million times better for you, right? There's no reason to just be out here just having sex with anything and anyone. There's something called STDs, STIs. There's something called emotional damage, right? Contrary to popular belief, sex isn't just a physical act. All right, sex is a deeply spiritual, emotional thing that you do with another person, right? It's not just like in out. Ooh, this feels great. Bust a nut. Like it's a lot more than that. Right? Why do you think people are so brokenhearted once they break up with someone after they slept with them, or you have a one night stand and you get upset that, oh, this person is sleeping with another person, right? That's because there's more at play than just the physicality. It's deeply emotional, and some people would even go as far as to say that this is very spiritual. All right, you don't just want to be out here just having sex willy nilly with anyone. That's going to do so much damage to your entire being. And we definitely shouldn't be getting advice from porn stars who have sex with the living. Do you know how messed up her brain is? Right? We don't even know if her brain is in fact working correctly. I mean, it's probably not, but come on, do you really want to get advice from porn stars? That was like what's her name? Mia Khalifa giving relationship advice. Mia Khalifa is like what, like 29 or 30, giving relationship advice. She's been divorced 3 times. Wow, who in the hell would take advice, would take marriage or dating advice from a porn star divorced 3 times? That's like taking relationship advice from a Kardashian. None of them are married. Okay, maybe one of them's married. Okay, maybe you can take relationship advice from what's her name? Uh Courtney? No, not Courtney. Courtney is the tall one. No, no, yeah, yeah. You can take perhaps you can take relationship advice from Courtney because she's the only one that's married. But just think about this, right? How do you have the most beautiful women, some of the most richest women on the planet, and none of them can keep a man? What does that say? We got Kim Kardashian, we got Kylie, Kendall, Chloe, all gorgeous women, filthy rich, some of them billionaires, some of them multimillionaires. What is wrong with them? Obviously, everything upstairs is not working right. No man wants to wife one of them up. That should tell you everything right there. That yeah, it's best to leave these types of women alone. There's nothing good that you will receive from being with these types of women. Kardashians and Tiana Trump and the Mia Khalifas included. Ooh, Bonnie the Blue. This goes right back to this whole degeneracy in society. If you guys don't know who Bonnie Blue is, that is a beautiful thing. Bonnie Blue and what's the other girl's name? Lily Phillips. Some of the top, they're porn stars too, right? But um, more OnlyFans girls, so they have sex on camera. And what was it? Lily Phillips got this whole thing cracking with having sex with 100 guys in a day. Bonnie blew up that by having sex with 1,000 men in one day. Absolutely disgusting. Like some of the most just degenerate behavior in human history. And the funny thing was is that they I think they were friends, but maybe there's like some sort of tension going on because one of them stole their idea for having sex with 1,000 men, and they did it before the other one did. So now, like, one is more famous than the other one. It's sick and it's stupid. But I think Lily Phillips, the other one, was uh on a podcast and she was crying, and the idea was that she had regret for sleeping with all of these men, and she felt bad and terrible, and perhaps there was going to be a change in her. But the whole reason why she was crying, right, from her mouth, was that she didn't have enough time to make every single guy come, and she felt like she had let these guys down. What the hell? I have no more words. Like, this is what we've come to. Like, humanity. Have we sunken so low? Man, we need God so bad. We need God more than ever at this point in all of our lives than probably any point in history. And the thing is with these people is that they are influencing other girls to do the same, because after Lily Phillips did the 100 guys, now Bonnie Blue wants to come and do the 1,000 guys. And then there was other girls, I don't know all of their names, who wanted to join in this event, and they were going to be having sex with some of these guys or preparing them to have sex with Bonnie Blue here. So it's the blind leading the blind, making other girls blind, corrupting more people. It's sick. And from from the bottom of my heart, I feel sad for these people, because I can imagine living a life like this has to be very empty. And what these women and all these men who engage with these types of women, what they need desperately more than anything is the love of God and the peace of God and the healing from God. That's what these people ultimately need. So please pray for Bonnie Blue, pray for Lily Phillips, pray for all these young men who have engaged with these women, and all these people who've been corrupted by them. It's a really sad thing to see, and I hope that it stops. Let's see, what else do we have here on the docket? You know, I think that there should be a drastic change in the laws. Hold on, I'm gonna get to my point, you guys. I'm just looking for a good slide to put up. Oh my goodness. Alrighty. Dang, we have nothing. All right, we're just going to put something up here. No, we can't put that. Oh, that's kind of scary. All right, here we go. Found it, you guys. Boom. All right, so I think that we should actually pass legislation to completely ban porn, porn stars, anyone who engages in, um, you know, just sexual debauchery. So sex outside of marriage, that should there should be legislation um like against that. There should be a greater push in our government to promote the um, normal, I guess, nuclear family, like mom, dad, children, and a push for people to actually have children. That's something that really makes me sad. Is that you see a lot of couples today, they just don't want kids, and some even just outright hate kids. Like that is a such a foreign concept that I don't understand. How could how can you hate kids when you used to be one? Kids are so beautiful. They're just like little bundles of joyful energy. Like personally, I want to have like 7, 8 kids. I wish my wife could give me that many. Yo, dude, what are you doing? You better knock my phone down. Look at this idiot. What are you doing? But yeah, there needs to be a bigger push from the government on expanding families, having more children, um, banning porn, making it illegal, outlawing all of these whorehouses. Bro, that's so crazy. How how are all these Christian countries considered Christian when we have legalized prostitution, when we have whorehouses down the street from our cathedrals? Like what type of well, what type of shit is this, man? We got a whorehouse 2 minutes from the church. That's some garbage, man. And also, how are we gonna call ourselves Christian countries when we allow abortion to be legalized? That's the biggest that would say, in my opinion, that's the biggest problem that we have is the whole abortion being legal. We need to get rid of that, and we need to kill this idea that babies in the womb have no value. That's just utter nonsense. These are human beings, these are children, and they're innocent. Perfect idea for the next stream, you guys. Hope you guys like my little buddy right behind me. His name is Adam the Apple. Actually, that's probably not his name. I gotta find his real name. But wow, we've been going for almost 50 minutes now, you guys. I appreciate all you guys stopping by. It's always a fun time over here, even when we're just chilling, chopping it up. Again, I wasn't gonna go that long, but because we had YouTube come on here and say some stupid stuff, hey, we had to go an extra 20 minutes just for the haters. But I think we're gonna wrap things up now. So again, appreciate you guys, and stay tuned for the next one. All right, I'm out.